Hello and welcome back, guys, to game number 2 of the Join Dota League season number 3, Team Cyclones versus Chili Willy. Team Cyclones, they took game number 1 rather convincingly as well. Man, the Weaver just went so damn berserk, even getting a rampage by the end of that game. So we'll see if Chili Willy can just counteract somehow, just get a draw out of this series. But of course, we are HeflaTV, I'm Coucher, and once again I am joined by Grandis V.
Yeah, I don't know. As far as game one is concerned, I think one of the biggest problems for Chili Willy was that early laning, they couldn't do anything. Their supports, and as well as their carried the Lifestealer, Shadow Shaman, as well as the Sand King, just couldn't get in range to get their spells off and couldn't make that aggressive tri-lane really work out. They need something like an Earthshaker, Skywrath Mage in order to bridge the gap, or at the very least, buy boots on one of those supports. Get them on the Sand King, get them on the Shadow Shaman, make that work for yourself. I think really that could have made that game go a whole lot better for them. But in the end, yeah, that Weaver just went absolutely ham, ended the game with a rampage, and at that point it was pretty much all over. There was nothing they could do to kill him, and I don't know, in the end, that Ravage at the end kind of just delayed the Weaver being able to get his rampage. So yeah, as far as this is game 2, and we're looking to see if they're going to be able to make a comeback happen.
Yeah, and that time they are starting with a Razor, and this time around as well, no weird bans coming out by them, just the Invoker left untouched. So we'll see if Team Cyclones actually do run the Invoker after all. And with the first picks, they are waiting it out a little bit. I mean, Faceless Void Skywrath Mage is definitely one combination they could go for. Razor is decent enough against Faceless Void, so might not be the best of heroes, but Viper is the first pick. And are we going to see like a Viper Tidehunter, but this time around from Cyclones?
I definitely wouldn't be opposed to it. I think it's a pretty solid opener, although I think avoiding the supports that are available right now might be a mistake. I don't know. Shadow Shaman just seems like such a strong support, especially on the Dire side, and I wouldn't be opposed to them picking that up, but instead they go for the Skywrath Mage. Also, a pretty good pick.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad one. But to be honest, if they went for Skywrath Mage anyway, might still have preferred Faceless Void a little bit. Especially that, I did say that Razor is good against Faceless Void, but I have seen so many games where Skywrath Mage Faceless Void just blow up the Razor before he gets to activate the BKB, for example. Just Chronosphere into Mystic Flare, it's so hard to deal with on any hero really. But, I mean, definitely a solid start from them as well with Chili Willy now. Do you think they want to go for that Faceless Void, or is it just going to be something like a Shadow Shaman? Because Mass Serpent Wards as well as a possible Aghanim Scepter from the Razor could equal a lot of pushing.
Honestly, I think any of the top tier meta picks wouldn't be bad for Chili Willy by any means. Yeah, Faceless Void could definitely work out. Getting a full duration static link, although not the biggest synergy, is definitely really solid for the Razor if you're able to find that angle. And I don't know, Faceless Void's just such a disruptive hero. If you're able to catch people out in the Chronosphere and have even just a little bit of backup there, it just becomes so strong and very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it definitely can become, and Earthshaker is the pick instead for Chili Willy. So they have a solid stun for themselves now, and a really long duration stun, like you said as well. Last time they just didn't have the hero to breach the gap at the moment. They do have the initiation power from that early on as well. They don't even need the blink dagger really. But we'll see what they actually want to follow this up with, as they do ban out the Faceless Void, so 2 games in a row, not gonna see Faceless Void, that's a win for me.
Fair enough. I'd love to see some of these heroes being played a little bit outside of the way that they're standardly played. Maybe we see something like a Slayer Viper that goes Shadowblade Orchid. I know we saw that a couple days ago, and it was quite a refreshing thing to watch, or maybe even a mid Earthshaker. But honestly, the first 4 picks at this point in the metagame are pretty standard, and there's very little to talk about, to be honest. Like, this is not surprising at all.
Yeah, it's definitely not at the moment. I have high hopes that we're gonna see at least one hero that isn't as common. Might not be the craziest of heroes like Huskar or Medusa, that's probably never gonna happen unfortunately, but we might see something like a Wind Ranger hopefully. Maybe, just maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I would love to see a Huskar on the side of Team Cyclones. Skywrath Mage Huskar can be pretty nasty as a duo, with that Ancient Seal amplifying the ultimate damage from Huskar. If you get a Veil on top of that, that's almost 100 to zeroing any hero, regardless of their HP. I don't know, I'd love to see it, but I doubt we'll see it. Yeah, the next couple of bans are pretty vanilla. Faceless Void Tidehunter taken out from Chili Willy, and Death Prophet banned out by Team Cyclones. So follow up with the Silencer yet again, just something that they don't like playing against, I assume.
Yeah, definitely must be that at the moment. Otherwise, I mean, Silencer, yes, it can be extremely strong, but I don't know if it's that strong. Especially since a lot of Silencers, they kind of fall off at some point in the game. Unless they really get a huge intelligence gain and actually go for more of a combat kind of Silencer instead of just going for Aghanim Scepter Refresher Orb. Just get lots and tons of intelligence. I don't know, like sheep sticks, what have you.
Yeah, I don't know. Silencer just seems to be such a hit or miss hero. If you get a really good ultimate, it can be wonderful, but it's so hard to find that, especially if you don't have entire map vision. Like, in order to get the perfect Silencer ultimate, you need to know everything about what the enemy team is going to do in that initiation, and honestly, that's just not practical. And it's, I don't know, very, very hit or miss. Yeah, I don't know, he can definitely be very annoying, it definitely can snowball, but I don't really see Chili Willy picking that up. But maybe these teams scrim together and we could be seeing that. For another game, we are going to see the Sand King pick up, but on Team Cyclones lineup, I definitely like it a lot more. With Scarlet Mage Concussive Shot, as well as if you start out with boots on your Sand King, you definitely can bridge the gap and make Burrow Strike, which is quite frankly a pretty bad level 1 skill, due to its range, a pretty potent one for ganking.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I do like it more as well, just like you. Just Skyrim Mage Sand King, it's pretty good, or good enough at the very least. And I do believe they're not gonna go for an aggressive try with this. Or at least I wouldn't advise for it. But Chili Willy picking up a Mirana now. Earthshaker is not the best setup in the game. Of course, like Bane Shadow Demon probably the best for Mirana arrows, but it's decent enough, and all in all can definitely help out any mid laner if need be, as well as just incoming ganks from Cyclones is concerned.
Yeah, I'd like to see them pick up another support to go along with the Earthshaker Mirana. To more reliably set up the Mirana arrows. But if they have practiced that combo a lot and they are very confident with their Earthshaker Mirana play, that could also be our roaming support duo.
Yeah, it very well could be, to be honest, and I wouldn't be against it at all. Mirana in a carry role, it can work out for sure if you just get the damaging items like Manta Style, Monkey King Bar, Daedalus, something like that. But I mean, I guess that's the good thing of picking that hero up as well, and that is one of the reasons it was such a high value pick earlier on this year, because it's so flexible. You can use it as a support, mid laner, off laner if really necessary, or just safe lane farming. It's still very much the case, so just having the flexibility in your draft always helps.
Yeah, for sure. Team Cyclones, yet again, we're going to see Weaver. Although Chili Willy have still some decent lockdown for the Weaver, it's not that great. They have the Earthshaker Chainstone, which is good, and if they're able to land an arrow, Weaver should die, but I don't know. It might affect how they're going to approach the rest of its draft. Honestly, I don't like the Weaver 4th pick. I think if you're going to pick up Weaver, wait until the very end of the draft. Now Chili Willy picked themselves up a Centaur, and, well, they have plenty of ways to keep this Weaver in place, and we might be seeing a very defensive Weaver coming out from Team Cyclones. And as a hero, Weaver, if you are forced to go into 2 defensive items early, I hate the hero because he just doesn't get online early enough.
Yeah, it very well might be the case at the moment, so we'll see about this. And to be honest, I don't mind Chili Willy's lineup at the moment at all, the 4 heroes that they have. And just having the Centaur now, there are 3 rather squishy heroes in Team Cyclones. Yes, Weaver of course has the Sokuchi and the time-lapse to deal with, but if he gets caught by the hoof stomp, he might be just down immediately, unless he is already super farmed of course, but just earlier on. Although Chili Willy, they are maybe a little bit reliant on just getting that rather fast blink dagger on the Centaur to be the initiation power for them.
And while Earthshaker as a support, if you don't get off to an early start, he can't farm like his Sand King and get that early blink dagger. So the blink initiation could be very delayed coming out from Chili Willy if their laning phase does not go in their favor. Yeah.
And now into the last bans we go. Ancient Apparition by Team Cyclones. I guess just they don't want to deal with that period. And actually for Cyclones at the moment, the Sand King will be their initiation once he gets the Blink Dagger, but before that, they really don't have anybody to just go into the front lines. I mean, Viper, yes, he's pretty tanky, usually builds the mech as well to help out even more, but he himself doesn't really just want to run into the middle of all the enemy team. So, Team Cyclones, are they going to pick up some form of initiation now? They do need themselves an offlaner, because probably it's going to be Weaver, Sanking, Skyref, Trilane, Viper mid, and that +1, but Clockwork was also banned. Tidehunter was banned previously already. I mean, does that leave the Nature's Prophet again for them?
Nature's Prophet isn't the worst. It's not the best. It could be an okay pickup for Team Cyclones. We'll just have to see. Honestly, I would have loved to see the Clockwork coming out from them, but Chili Willy banned that out. I think with the Sand King as well as the Skyreth Mage, they have plenty of ways to follow up with a Clockwork Cogs. Their most ideal offlaner would have been the Faceless Void, presumably, but instead they go for the Puck here. Puck is an offlaner. I don't know, he can do really well if he's able to get away with his laning stage, but then again, he can also have a very delayed Blink Dagger. With an Earthshaker Mirana +1 lane against the Puck, Puck could have quite a bit of difficulty, although I don't think an aggressive tri-lane is out of the question coming out from Chili Willy. If he's 1v1 versus Centaur, Puck could have a really good game this game.
Yeah, and I actually think that Team Cyclones themselves might, after all, still be looking for an aggressive tri-lane. Just leaving Weaver, Sanking, Skyref Mage, and Weaver, of course, even if he's left alone by the Sanking and Skyref Mage just rotating into the mid lane, for example, the Weaver with the Sukuchi should still be safe enough, unless the Earthshaker gets a beautiful block off completely. And just maybe even sending Puck mid lane and having Viper solo lane up against the Centaur Warrunner. Because Viper just completely sits on the Centaur and Centaur can't do much of anything.
Yeah, I don't know, definitely could be an option. A lot of different lanes that Team Cyclones could go for, and we'll have to see if they're going to get the ones that favor them. For this last pick on Chili Willy, I'd love to see a Shadow Demon. With Centaur Warner as well as Mirana, it combos so well with them, and one of the biggest things that I think about when I see a Shadow Demon pick is if he roams to these lanes, will he be able to get a kill? And well, with guaranteeing Razor static link damage and getting up a really nice Hoof Stomp double edge setup as well as the arrow setup, he can do a whole lot of work in this game, as well as defensive disruptions up against the Mystic Flare from Skyreth Mage. I think it would be a solid pickup for them.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't be too bad, and actually I would kind of like that pick even, or a lot, but they go for a Rubik instead. I guess you can steal the Viper Strike and the Burrow Strike. Of course Sokuchi might be his #1 priority as far as steals go, but do you really want to go for a Rubik for just those spells? It doesn't really have like the huge Ravages, Black Holes, Primal Splits or anything like that to steal.
I don't know, I definitely would have liked the Shadow Demon as your setup for the arrow, but at least in the laning phase he's going to have a similar impact. He'll be able to lift after following up from the fissure into the arrow of the Mirana. And well, it definitely could work out for them. We'll have to see how it's going to go. As well, on the Radiant side, we are going to have Chili Willy. Leading the charge is going to be Matori playing on the Earthshaker, with Keitora playing on the Mirana. Tokasan going to be playing on the Razor, and Dante on the Centaur Warner, leaving Ralphie on the Rubik.
And for Cyclones on the dire side, Acid will still be the offlane Puck after all, leaving Vitalik actually on the Weaver to go into the mid lane, and from me on the Sand King, with V-Wombo being the Skyref Mage, and OD on the Viper on that safe lane tri-lane.
Well, Puck, I don't know, he should be fine. Oh, yeah, arrow not going to land. Yeah, Acid's just peachy on the bottom lane, able to chaunt that Illusory Orb. But yeah, this laning choice coming out from Cyclones is a little bit interesting, but I quite like it. In mid, Viper is one of the heroes that you want to see dominate his lane, and presumably up against a Razor, that's one of the matchups that isn't the best for Viper. Although he is slightly favored, he doesn't dominate the Razor by any means, and Weaver, although he doesn't push out the lane as fast as the Razor with the Plasma Field, the static link really doesn't bother Weaver at all. With Shikuchi, he's able to break it very easily, and with starting out with the Wraith Band, he has plenty of stats to contest the CS of the Razor, and well, we'll have to see if it's going to pan out for them, but I think that Vitalik should have a pretty good time in mid.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with you. I mean, I didn't think about the lane myself at all, but as I see it, it really makes sense against the Razor. Just being able to get away from static link is such a huge bonus to you on lane, and Razor, actually, he's kind of reliant on just being able to harass with the static link, stealing damage, because not only does it give himself an easier time getting last hits, it also takes damage away from the enemy. But with the Weaver, he's probably just gonna get like 7 damage stolen all the time and not really more.
Even that, like, that's pretty difficult to ask. When Weaver's sitting back defensively and then one Shikuchi, it's gonna be really easy to break even before he gets the 7 damage. So Yeah, I think that Razor's more than anything just going to be focusing into Plasma Field in order to push out the wave as far as this build is concerned. But for now, we have an Invis rune picked up by the Rubik, and Earthshaker also sitting in mid. This could completely change the analysis of how the mid's going to go if Weaver gives up first blood. Let's see how it's going to pan out.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to give it away, and I mean, early on Sukuchi, its cooldown is definitely long enough for you to set up an easy kill. But can Toka-san actually make him use that Sukuchi before they initiate?
Well, let's see. Earthshaker's waiting for the follow-up fissure. They start out with the Link. He's actually able to get a little bit of damage, but no lift. Coming out as there's not a sentry ward on the ground. Rubik didn't want to place it, so in the end, I think that's not going to net them a kill as the invisibility rune is going to wear off on Ralphie.
Yeah, they still have a little bit of a time left, but no, never mind. They can't really go, so Beaver avoids disaster at the moment. Toka-san got some damage at least, so wasn't really a bad trade-off for them either. But in the meantime, thanks to this ace hit, we'll be able to just get a pretty nice amount of XP on this bottom lane since the supports haven't come in yet. And even if they do, I mean, this puck should be fully aware of any rotations Chili Willy does to the bottom lane unless they're smoked up, because this aggressive observer ward just gives excellent vision to the puck.
I'm actually very surprised that Acid is doing as poorly as he was. He actually had only gotten like one creep of experience in bottom until the lane has been pushed out. With a solo Mirana, there's very little that she can actually do to pressure the puck, and I thought Acid would at the very least get full experience, but now he has picked up his level 2 and he's going to feel a lot more confident, although Mirana is definitely winning out the lane.
Yeah, I mean, he has 4 denies as well, so that's actually pretty good at the moment. So lane control has been the name of the game, and oh, Ralphie already denies himself the observer ward. So 50 gold into the pockets of Rubik, no vision for the puck anymore. So all is good that way. And looking at Dante, he's level 2.5 as well, was just soaking up some XP from the pool, but Vitalik, he gets a haste rune. Do they see Dante? They're actually not going to go for it. And there's only arcane bolts on V-Wumbo as well, he's still level 1.
Yeah, so in the end, it's going to be fairly passive, and now that supports have gone back down to bottom, and with Acid not having any vision in bottom lane, this puck is going to have to play very defensively. A Fissure could set up an arrow out of nowhere, and, well, if it's comboed properly, the arrow could land before he's able to get the phase shift off, although I think Acid could probably stand to play a little bit more aggressively. Fissure isn't reliable as far as the block is concerned with the loser orb and Jaunt, and well, Arrow is going to be very hard to line up, so I think he'll be just fine even if he was getting more experience. Yeah, Acid is just playing so defensively, which I don't like seeing from offlane pucks.
Yeah, he just needs at level 6 to start roaming around, and of course, we talked about maybe them just going for the Nature Prophet as well. And the one benefit Nature Prophet has over the puck is you can just go jungle if it's actually really this bad for you. Maybe he's just waiting for Chili Willy supports to rotate to another lane to actually feel safe enough to go into XP range again.
Well, for now he's kind of trading evenly with the Centaur. In fact, Centaur has a full level ahead of him, and Centaur as an offlaner really needs to play very defensively. I think this is really just your Radiant versus Dire offlane coming into effect, especially with the Sand King not in lane and just jungling to his heart's content with his level 3. This making the Centaur feel a lot safer than the puck. So, yeah, although the zoning coming up from Scarlet Mage is annoying, it's eaten through quite a bit of Dante's regen, he's going to be just fine with how this lane is going. He actually has gone for the point in return, which I'm not a huge fan of in a lane up against a Viper. With Corrosive Skin, it's always going to proc it. So yeah, I think you save that point until a little bit later on and maybe prioritize Swift Stomp. I don't know, it just makes it so hard to get up into the creeps. And for now, Viper is going to have free farm, getting a lot of denies off as Dante walks straight into Scarlet Mage. Now he's going to get slowed down with the follow-up Burrow Strike. This should be a fairly easy first blood for them to take, and I don't think Dante's going to get out of there. He gets a double hoof stomp, and that's going to delay things for now, but one more auto attack from Odie secures himself the kill on the Centaur, and yeah, just playing way too aggressively. Odie is going to be forced to salve up, but at this point, it doesn't really matter.
You mean, that's why the salve is there for as well. There's no point really selling it later on, and they're definitely happy. I mean, 400 gold into the Viper's pockets. It's going to be a really fast mech now for Cyclones, if that's the item Viper wants to go for at all. But at least this is making up now for kind of the bad time that Puck is having on this bottom lane. But with the kill happening, Puck is actually slowly catching up to the Centaur, so at least neither side is doing better. And to be honest, which offlaner do you think does better without the Blink Dagger and just having level 6? I mean, it's probably fairly even. Just
Yeah, I would say it's... Yeah. I would say it's pretty even. I would favor Chili Willy's impact because getting the Earthshaker in range is going to be a lot more important than the Sand King. Since Sand King, oh my goodness, is going to have his own Blink Dagger in order to do that. And although the Dream Coil is nice, I think being able to get the Rubik and Earthshaker in position is going to be better, as well as just chasing people down with the Static Link. I think that the ultimate coming up from the Centaur is going to be very important in this game.
Yeah, and actually, the Sand King, he's definitely gonna have a faster Blink Dagger than Chill Willy did in the last game. He's already up to 1.4k gold. Looks like he's completely rushing it as well. Not gonna go for boots first even, or at least doesn't look like it at the moment. And I'm not too opposed to this decision as well. It's not like the random boots of speed give you too much if you have the Blink Dagger already. If it was like arcane boots then maybe, but... And he's just off to a really good and fast start. He's gonna get the Blink Dagger by like 8 minutes in if he continues like this.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's just going to catch them off guard if he does completely rush it and gets like an 8-minute Blink Dagger. That's just something you don't usually see out of your supports, and it's going to be a pretty easy kill wherever he goes. So I think they'll probably just get the Blink Dagger on the Sand King, buy him a smoke, and off he goes to gank some lane, and we'll see if it's going to work out then. For now, he's just going to be sandstorming away, as the other lanes are going to be very passive. Earthshaker and Rubik are hanging around the 6-minute rune, but it's going to spawn top. Razor going to secure that one anyway.
I mean, always nice to get the double damage. Of course, didn't have a bottle or anything, just going for straight up mech after the Ring of Aquila. He's winning as Beaver, but not by a huge margin. I mean, 29 and 12 compared to 25 and 4. It has more denies, but just only 4 last hits ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. Vitalik, it's, I suppose, better than being left solo off lane, but he's going to get fissured mid. The follow-up lift with the sentry on the ground. It looks like he's going to die very easily. And, well, just getting caught with his pants down in mid lane with a nice block coming out from the Earthshaker. And, well, the fissures are now visible on my screen, so that's kind of nice.
Actually, I thought he might even get the time lapse off, but the double damage from the Razor just giving that extra little bit of damage. But Dante might be in trouble. He gets slowed by the Kakashi shot. Will they get the Burrow Strike? Should be an easy one. They have the Viper Strike as well if need be, but the TPs are coming in. Moonlight Shadow as well. Dante might actually survive. No, the poison damage is a little bit too much. Of course, the Sandstorm helping out as well, even boosted by the Ancient Seal a little bit. So that was just 2 TPs, rather wasted, and the supports really don't have too much money to just throw away like this.
That's your completed mechanism at 7 minutes in for the Viper. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing him pick up the power treads first, because if you're not going to 5-man with the mech, it doesn't really do much just sitting casually in your inventory. But it will have that completed now, so it's kind of a moot point. We'll get the power treads next, presumably. But yeah, Ancient Seal with Viper Strike is actually a pretty dirty combination, does so much damage early on, and the Centaur just can't show his face in lane whenever that's up.
Yeah, I mean, Viper, he's just off to such a good start, and just look at the Centaur, he's only level 4, and now if the support's gone, Puck should be a little bit safer to go into XP range as well, because he's also level 4.5 for the time being. And he definitely shouldn't be afraid of the solo Mirana. I'm not too sure if Ralphie and Matori have shown themselves actually in this top lane. But now with daytime hitting, they should have enough vision on Cyclones to just know where the supports are.
Yeah, I don't know, this Puck, even though he hasn't died, is still kind of lagging behind, and the Centaur is actually beating him out in experience just by a little bit, even though he's given up 2 kills. Or 2 deaths, rather. But for now, it's still really passive, despite having a couple kills in lane. Vitalik, I believe he had an Invis rune, but he's kind of eat a lot of damage with that Sentry in mid, and actually loses 14-28 coming out from the Razor, and Razor just dominating this lane, at least for the time being, especially after that kill. He's made a little bit of a margin here, leading him by 15 CS.
Yeah, it's definitely just rolling on this lane at the moment. But just look at the last hit charge overall. After the Weaver, it just drops off completely. I mean, 8 on the Centaur, the Earthshaker, and 7 on the Rubik. So, I mean, just the Sand King farming up the jungle like this, who has enough gold for the Blink Dagger now, and even has Boots of Speed as well on top of that. So, 9-minute Blink Dagger, just extremely good start for the Sand King. And can they surprise Dante with this? I mean, they have the Viper Strike ready as well. If the Centaur just overextends by a few feet, he's gonna go down.
Honestly, I'm not even sure if you gank him. I think you help out Weaver, excuse me, in the mid lane and kill up the Razor. For now, it looks like he is going to make that rotation. The Scarred Mage is already in position for that. It is daytime, but if Razor goes aggressively up against the Weaver sooner rather than later, he might get caught out here with the Plasma Field. Chikuchi forward by the Weaver. He does have support backup, so this could be sketchy. We do have Epicenter in the Sand King as well. He is level 7, so let's see. I'm hoping for a big initiation, but for now, everybody's just going to back off.
Yeah, Acid finally will get some XP as well. He actually had to back all the way home and now just TP back to the bottom lane here. So he's gonna be able to hit level 5, as is the case with Centaur as well. Actually, he's getting rather close to level 6 at the moment, and when he has the Stampede, he actually has a chance to survive the Viper Strike as well, which is always gonna be nice. You really don't want to use it for purely defensive purposes though, if you can help it, but better just safe than dead.
Yeah, for sure. Weaver picks himself up the power treads, but as of now, the Razor is just farming so defensively. He's making use of the Radiant mid lane, getting a little extra farm in the side 2 camp. So the rotation, well, it might be fruitful as they catch out Ralphie here, and Ralphie should be dead. Do they have a sentry on the ground? Do they have detection? It won't be enough as the Fade Time's not going to be there. Sanking actually picks up last hit. And yeah, Mirana ultimate used purely defensively as they might go onto the Razor. No, Sanking's already backed.
Yes, I want to chill, just put on cooldown. It's not the biggest deal, but I mean, it's definitely a little bit like Stampede. You don't want to use it defensively, and especially if it doesn't actually end up saving the hero as well. It stings a little bit, but no big deal. I think Estante has been able to hit level 6 now, has the Stampede, and his counterpart Acid is a full level off of 6. So when the offlaners have been struggling the entire game, Razor finishes up his mech as well, a lot later than the Viper, but like you mentioned, if the Viper isn't gonna 5-man anyway, the mech really isn't as useful this early.
Yeah, I know. I look at Viper's inventory, and he's almost towards a point booster. I think they should just start pushing down this tower. There's very little the Centaur can do to counterpush this, and that if they had the 2 supports there, it probably would have fallen already, although Nether Toxin is putting quite a bit of hurt into that tier 1.
Actually now, man, Skyrim Mage just hits level 6. They were jungling together with Frumi, Sanking a little bit, and just Burrow Strike into Mystic Flare. Even Razor with a mech might not be able to survive this. But Ralphie is around as well, just sentry warding things up in the mid lane. And Cyclones, maybe if they had a smoke, they could just easily get the jump, but can they get in range like this without being noticed?
I would have liked to see them pick up a smoke, to be honest. Deny comes out on top from the Centaur, but it looks like it's going to cost him his life. No, the Centaur ultimate will keep him safe as mid lane. They're going to make a jump onto the Razor, but they lift up the Weaver. In fact, he's going to get blown up by the magic nukes coming out. Viper TP's into the mechanism is going to be way too late to help the Weaver, and he's man fighting up against the Razor, getting a lot of damage stolen. Now the Fissure coming through the follow-up arrow onto Odie. Odie looks like he's going to die. They might be able to get a return kill. A nice Burrow Strike comes out from Brumi. He's trying to get Ralphie before he dies, and it looks like he will with the Dream Pool coming out from the Puck as well. We'll be able to pick up 2 for 2 in the exchange, but still, it looks like they're going to be pretty happy with how that went down, as that's 2 cores for core into support. And well, from he might be looking for more. Doesn't have enough mana to do anything though.
Yeah, the Puck rotating in there saved the Sand King's life first and foremost, getting some counter kills as well. If the Puck hadn't come, it would have been just an utter disaster for Cyclones, I think. But one thing as well, the Sand King, his Sandstorm was literally just out of range of this sentry ward. I mean, 1 feet closer, but Kaitoro might be in trouble. Gonna get silenced up as well. Gonna get chased down possibly. But the silence already ends. Is he fast enough? Drums pop with the face puts. Even Vitalik with the Sukuchi might not be able to catch up. But the Swarm, no, the leap is there. But the Courier is not gonna be as lucky. So it's still a win for Cyclones.
Yeah, I don't know, Weaver quite possibly the best hero at killing off couriers, with the Shikuchi to chase it down as well as Gemini attack to get the kill there. I don't know. Mirana made it out alive, but still at this point in the game, that extra 200 gold given to everybody is probably more important, especially since Mirana is going to be forced back to base anyway.
Well, at the moment, kill score 3-5. Not a huge difference there at all, but looking at the graphs, a 2,500 gold lead for Cyclones. Only a 1k XP lead, so he's rather even. Viper Strike stolen by Ralphie as well, of course. Just, you cannot not steal that ability when you're using Spell Steal on Viper. Moonlight Shadow, they get the Fissure. Oh man, easy setup. That was just beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know, they used everything, they comboed it correctly, and in the end, easy kill on the Weaver. He's so squishy at this point in the game. He has power treads, but that's not going to save you. They, I don't know, get Dream Cold down and bomb with the epicenter being channeled. He's looking for the Brink Burrow Strike. Will be able to find it. He only catches out Mattery here, but it will be enough to get both of these kills, it seems, as Mirana as well as the Earthshaker going to die. After getting a very nice kill on the Weaver, but the Viper, he's in mid, he's getting chased down fairly effectively. The mechanism comes out from both sides. Odie, man fighting under tower. Tokusan, it looks like he's going to die in return. The Viper's going to be just fine. And in the end, the tower coming in big there.
Yeah, and the Viper doesn't even die either. I mean, Ralphie, he was like a couple seconds off getting the cooldown through from the Fate Bolt. Would have been enough to get the kill, but just 4 points into Corrosive Skin, having the point booster early on, power threats on strength. And Viper, I just really like that he stood his ground there under the tower. If he had just tried to run into the trees, for example, the tower might not have been able to follow up on the Razor like that. So Viper just standing his ground, and he was willing to trade his own life for that of the Razor, and just paid off dividends for him. So really good exchange.
Yeah. I don't know, for now, that's kind of the damage of it as well. The net worth on the Sand King is actually above that of the Weaver, who really hasn't come online just yet. I don't know, after dying once in lane, as well as dying twice after that, and just overall being kind of dominated by the Razor. He's gotten a little bit of gold on top of that, and definitely isn't out of this game, but his impact is going to be delayed by a little bit. He is going to max out the Swarm after maxing out Chikuchi, which is quite nice and offers a little bit more utility for his team. But the smoke comes out from Cyclones, trying to catch somebody out. Not sure they're going to find anybody, however, as got to raise pretty fast, and they won't spot him.
I mean, I don't know if they somehow saw the smoke or what the call was, but Mirana, he just backed off at the perfect time. Might still not be in the clear though. They get vision of him, but they get the slow on Tokasan instead. Arrow will be missed, and oh man, the Fisher just as the Sand King blinked in. No Berserk yet, they popped the dust, they have vision now. But Dante, he comes in, actually gets Dream quite immediately. Mystic Flared on top of his head. Couldn't do too much at all before dying. The mech comes out from Odi. Tokasan actually popped his already as well with Ralphie. He goes down 2-4-0. Another Fisher catches 3 heroes. Vitalik, he's gonna be safe, and actually the arrow lands on Odi now. They're gonna get the counter. The plasma field comes through, and V1 is he gonna get chased down? Vitalik wants to come back in the Berserk onto 2 heroes. Beautifully set up. 2 cores down. And 4 for 1 exchange. Might even get Matori as well if he's not careful. Oh, ace it. He dropped so low from the Fisher. But he's still alive. The Berserk, a blind one misses. But there's the Echo Slam. Actually, they're gonna go for the kill on the Weaver. Oh, man.
Sand King and Earthshaker, what players! Those Fissures and Burrow Strikes have just been so on point. And at the very end, the Echo Slam to secure the kill on the Weaver. Well played by Muttery as well as from me. Like, very impressed by these two. Sand King, as far as his next item choice is going to be a Veil. I love this with the Scarlet Mage as well as Sand King supporting duo, as well as the amount of farm on the Sand King at this point. Arcane Boots blink and almost a completed Veil. He's richer than most cores in this game. In fact, is the second in net worth above everybody on the enemy team. Yeah, it's...
How does he have so much farm? And Ralphie, he's not gonna be happy. Rubik as well. Burrow Strike up, gonna get slowed down. Mystic Flare on top of his head, and they just don't need anything else, and they even popped down his sentry, or actually, it was just a fresh sentry from Rubik, I think.
Yeah, I don't know, he's that farm because he's 5-0-5, and he's been farming pretty well on top of that inside the jungle. 66-0 as far as last hits are concerned, but more importantly his kill score. Keeping him just so farmed. If you have a support that's able to not die, like the Scarlet Mage or the Sand King in this game, they're just able to do so much, and well, Scarlet Mage going to pick himself up the Arcane Boots. Definitely not on the same tier as Frummy, but for now they're going to look for a kill, and I don't know, not sure if Mirana's going to be so lucky to avoid it this time.
They don't have Mystic Flare, but it... Oh, actually the Burrow Strike misses. He went for a blind one again. The slow is there on the Mirana, but he should be safe. Or will he be? Yes, he buffed the Moonlight Shadows. They have sentries though, and Kaitora, he's in huge trouble now. Leap on cooldown already, Dream coiled up and taken down. I mean, I thought with Frummy missing the Burrow Strike that Mirana might get the escape, but not the case.
Yeah, I don't know, it costs them a Dream Coil on top of that, which is kind of unfortunate, but they'll also get the tier 1 tower down here. Not really a lot that Chili Willy can do to defend against this, so despite not having the greatest pushing lineup, they're still able to convert this into a couple of wins, as in mid. They repel the Razor, who's gotten a lot of damage on their tier 1 tower in middle lane in the meantime. I don't know, Weaver chasing the center up and top, taking a lot of return damage in the end, not going to be able to chase down that kill. TP way, pretty strong up against the Weaver.
Yeah, it definitely is, and actually, with the kill on the Mirana, as well as getting the tower now, that's gonna be the blink dagger on the puck. Dream Coil is on cooldown, but he can still like blink in. Silence might already be enough, especially since Earthshaker, he's already, not already, but only down to half HP at the moment as it is. And they just don't have the blink dagger in center yet. There is no initiation, at least proper initiation yet for them, which Cyclones, they have 2 heroes of easily just blink in, get the silences, the stuns, and kind of overwhelm Chili Willy.
Yeah, kind of the problem that you see out of Centaurs and Earthshakers. They're not the fastest farming heroes, and it's very easy for them to get behind. Sand King's just sandstorming away up here, but yeah, they'll stop it with a Fissure follow-up arrow. It's not going to be on the mark because the Burrow Strike towards the north will keep him safe, and the Blink Dagger will come out from me. But on the back lines, they get a huge Scarlet Mage ulti onto the poor Rubik. The Dream Coil lands onto 2 as well. And now the Viper Strike towards Tokusan. He's going to be able to make through a lot of that damage. The Weaver's also joining the fray. TP him out immediately. But the Weaver's actually going to take the majority of that damage. He is going to try to chase down this Mirana. The body blocks aren't going to come out there inside Shikuchi. She'll leap to the high ground, but then turns around. She's blocked up by her friendly Fissure. And in the end, that A seconds is going to come and bite her in the behind. Stomp goes away of the Weaver, but doesn't have enough damage to Scarlet Mage. He's actually hanging around with no mana. He probably just needs to back that out of there. As Dante is going to be dropped as 4 for 0 going to be the trade. They weren't able to secure any of those kills, despite sanking Scarlet Mage and Weaver on top of that incredibly low.
Yeah, and I mean, the sanking actually, as the initiation, he was the one escaping, but Cyclones is coming in from the side, Puck surviving with a nice phase shift, and just ethereal shot out from the illusory orb. And man, I didn't get to see it because I was checking the main fight, so to say. But Sand King and Earthshaker, they were just man fighting it out for a long time. I heard Fissures, Enchant Totems, Burst Strikes going on at the sideline. Didn't get to see it, but in the end, Sand King, he was the one getting the kill on the Earthshaker. And Cyclones 18-6 now. Looking at the graphs again, suddenly 10k gold lead for them, 10k XP as well. It's kind of spiraling at the moment.
Yeah, it definitely is, with an almost completed Aghanim Scepter. In fact, completed Aghanim Scepter on the Viper and the Veil on the Sand King. So much magical amp damage is going to come out from these. The Viper Strikes are going to sting like none other when you have an Ancient Seal as well as Veil on top of you, and there's very little that you're going to be able to do to avoid that damage. You'll have Centaur Ultimate to run away from that, but if you just have a couple more casual spells on top of it, you're not really going to survive very effectively. They have the mech, but that's about it. Scarlet Mage, they jump in, they get a Dream Coil onto 2, I believe. Scarlet Mage ulti, it's going to be spread between 3 heroes, but everybody's falling low. Now the Epicenter comes out on 3 with the triple kill for me. It's going to be a godlike spree. TP attempt from the Razor, will we be able to make it out? No. Scarlet Mage picks up that kill. What a beautiful combo coming out from them. So much damage.
Yeah, and from me, he had the Veil of Discord as well for that fight. Just popped it as he blinked in. That just completely decimated Chili Willy. Nothing they could do. I mean, they got the kill on the puck, but even that just barely. If the Sanking had been like a millisecond there earlier, probably would have even saved the puck, but I guess they'll take the trade any day. They get the tower. They're gonna go for tier 2 now as well. What's gonna stop them if they just continue like this? And Weaver, he's gonna even have his Lincoln Sphere finally finished now. So he's also catching up. Number 3 in net worth. But still, this Sand King, just the farm that he has, it's sick. He's even going for a 4-staff now.
Yeah, he's by far my MVP. He runs into the Mirana here on a 9-0 and, what is it, 7 on the Sand King? Just so huge. He gets tagged by an arrow. Might be in a little bit of trouble. He turns on the Mirana. She's going to use her leap. The Veil's actually going to clip her. Where's the Burrow Strike to block that? No, not coming off of cooldown fast enough. But he's going to have the completed force on top of that. My goodness, I have never seen a Sand King this farmed. As a support, that is.
Yeah, I mean, 9-0 and 7. Just probably the game of his life, really, at the moment from me. Definitely leaving a lasting impression on me at the moment with his plays. I mean, just the amount of farm, almost surpassing the Viper even, who got first blood and was farming up safe lane. It's like, what? How, man? How? Teach me your ways. And he's even gone for 4 points in the Caustic Finale. So he's definitely transitioned into a farming Sand King.
Yeah, pretty much. They're going to attempt the Roshan here. Chili Willy, they could attempt to contest here. It's not the fastest Roshan, but for now they're just not in position and are looking for the tower trade instead. Will they even be able to get it in time? Maybe the tier 1 tower, but that's going to be about it. The mechanism comes through inside the Roshan pit, and Roshan should fall before they actually see much damage onto this T1. And I don't know, this is scary coming out from Chili Willy. They're going to have an Aegis to deal with. Presumably, I'd like to see it on the Viper, although they'll probably give it to Vitalik, and they will. Although his sustained damage isn't that much. The tier 1 tower is going to be chipped away at only half health, and now the TP's in, I think they need to get out.
Yeah, the arrow misses as well. They might be able to escape, because the TP's, of course, the more TP's they come, the longer they take. So actually they probably will back off. Or will they? No! The Dream Coil onto Kaitoro, he leaps out of it. Should still be on the safe side. They are going to be fast enough. So in the end, Cyclones, they just use... What? Did they actually use 5 TP's there?
Yes.
Well, they can just counter push this lane now, get the tier 2, I guess, or what do you think? Should they go? I mean, they have the Aegis after all, they have the advantages as it is.
Yeah, I mean, go for it. Weaver's kind of hanging around in mid. I'm not sure if he's able to get any of these kills, especially with Moonlight Shadow coming out. At the very least, I think he'll go for a deny, but he gets tagged by an arrow. He might be in a little bit of trouble. There's no TPs, but now the Sand King comes out and... Well, leap down to the low ground coming up from Mirana. I think she's going to be just fine, but no, 4-staff onto the Weaver. Shikuchi through. Will he be able to chase her down? Looks like he might be able to do so. This is a long chase, however, coming from the Weaver. Another Shikuchi comes off a cooldown. He wants his kill so bad. There's a Blink Dagger coming off a cooldown shortly by the Sand King. Don't think it's going to be enough to Gemini attack the bugs, and one more is all that he really needs. Will he get it? Yep, he'll secure that one on the Mirana. So in the end, Tier 1 tower going to be lost, but also they're going to probably take this Tier 2 tower up top.
It was a long chase, but in the end, just proved to be worth it, although this is a huge pickup. Matari, he gets himself a Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker. Has to lure to Echo Slam, but Viper Strike onto Dante. Can he get the Stampede? Yes, it's there in time. Mystic Fear onto Ralphie as well, but he gets out of it thanks to the extra movement speed. But Tier 2 will still be lost, and Stampede on cooldown. Moonlight Shadow is as well, even if Mirana were to respawn. But this Blink Echo Slam might be enough of a suppressing factor to turn at least one fight around.
The dream is the Blink Echo Slam into 5 with the follow-up Centaur also on everybody, and then you can just clean them up from there. I don't know, they definitely have the potential to contest, but it's going to take some missteps coming out from Cyclone, I feel, in order to do that. And even if they do kill everybody, Weaver's going to come back with a vengeance, and he's sitting on 2,000 gold. We're probably looking at a damage item next for Vitalik here, and whether that's a Desolator, or maybe he just gets a casual crit if he wants something right now. I don't know, he's going to be hitting pretty hard. Sand King picks himself up a dust, and I don't know, he is oozing with money. 1,500 gold in the bank, still 9-0 and 8. We've been harping on the Sand King for quite some time, but I don't think he's going to die this game.
Yeah, I sure as hell hope not, just for him to have the perfect game. And if he keeps playing like he has so far, he's probably not going to die, although still, Blink Echo Slam might be his demise there. Of course, he's probably gonna come in and be the one stunning the enemies, not the other way around. But Blink, oh, arrow just off puck. He gets the phase shift as well, gets the silence, Dream Coil onto 3 heroes. Are they gonna turn it around, Ralphie? Where's the telekinesis? It comes out, so the puck, he goes down, but now there's the epicenter gonna come in, well used. It's only for his support though, and Dante comes in, gets the stun onto OD as well, Stampede used, Burrow Strike through. As OD, he's still alive, pretty damn healthy. Mystic Fear off target, Blink, Echo Slam onto 2. Sand King, will he go down now? Racer wants to chase him down. Do they actually have vision of him? I don't think the static link, of course, still keeps him damaging through, and the Burrow Strike. They killed the Earthshaker, 4 heroes down, and OD on the run from Toka-san, but is it gonna be enough? Toka, he hits hard, but Weaver, he comes in now, has the Aegis. They're gonna chase down the Razor as well, possibly. Moonlight Shadows is gonna be his savior, but 4 for 2. Sand King, he dropped low at some point, but not low enough.
Yeah, in the end, that was probably the best case scenario for Chili Willy. They only got epicentered on one of their supports. It was the Rubik to drop at the beginning of that fight, and yeah, as unfortunate that is for Frummy, they still weren't able to secure any of the kills. Viper dropped low, there was a lot of low heroes, but they just don't have the sustained damage in order to really come out with it. They got a 2-hero Echo Slam, which was honestly really good. Coming out from the Earthshaker, just found a good opportunity, but in the end, that was all that they really got.
Yeah, they're just gonna lose even more than just a fight at the moment. The Tier 2 under siege, and actually the TPs are coming in, so the Tier 2 will be fine for the time being. But Frummy is around, he doesn't have the epicenter, but the Veil in itself might be enough. But Tanta is coming in from the back as well, Sand King. Is he gonna get the jump upon? Oh, the Stampede goes through Hoof Stomp as well. He got the Sandstorm before, but the arrow will follow up, and oh, he's gonna go down. 1.3k gold into the pockets of the Earthshaker.
Suddenly, Earthshaker is really farmed. They probably would have liked to give that to their Mirana or somebody else, but still, picking up that spree is very good for Chili Willy, and well, that 1,500 gold could turn into some important support items for their team. The makings of a Force Staff, some sentries or wards could be pivotal in the next couple of engagements. Although that's a step in the right direction, it's still a long way till recovery coming out from Chili Willy. Another Weaver, they're coming in, they're going to drop the Mystic Flare right onto Dante. Without the Stampede, he's not going to be able to get out of there. Vitalik's going to be stunned up, but gets the time-lapse off in the end, and he's going to be just fine. And, well, he has had a lot of damage stolen, not able to do much. Buyback from the center, and, well, for now, everybody's going to back off.
Yeah, I mean, the buyback, I guess maybe Cyclones would have actually reinitiated there. They do have the puck coming in as well. But man, this buyback, this center just isn't tanky enough at the moment to go to the front of spot. Oh, they get the Viper Strike onto Toka. Some BKB is activated, but they still slowed down. Will the physical damage be enough? Oh, the Blink Echo Slam catches 2 again. But the Dream Coil will follow, and they just can't seem to get the kills at the moment. Vitalik, he is healthy enough, but the damage gets stolen. Toka-san, is he gonna go down? Blink, Waning Rift, the Illusion up through, and OD. He's actually gonna go down 600 gold for the Mirana. But Mirana thrown up in the air by the Yule Scepter. Can he actually make it out from me? He's almost there. Oh, that Burrow Strike, that lining for it catches 2. Illusion Orb a little bit too late, so Mirana makes the escape, or does he? Nope, Waning Rift catches the kill in the end. A 4-for-1 so far, and Dante, I'm not too overly convinced he's gonna escape this.
Yeah, with another burst strike coming through the seal as well as the arcane bolt, that's going to be a full 5-man wipe. As the only things they lost were the Viper, and I think the Aegis even timed out, not even sure if Weaver lost that. The gem was on the deck at some point, but even if Chili Willy managed to secure that for themselves, it would have been fed back eventually. Anyway, Desolator completed by the Weaver, and well, we have another 2,400 gold on the Sand King. The shop's his oyster at this point. I think you have pretty much everything a Sand King could want. Maybe just go Ags now, but 2-2 Tower going to fall in their favor as well, and it's looking really bad for Chili Willy. I think we might have a repeat performance coming out from the Weaver. Once he gets that Desolator, he can just wreak havoc in these team fights.
Yeah, they're really well coordinated as a team as well. And man, from me coming into the last fight, I mean, he was just running there as fast as he possibly could after having respawned. But he came in, he actually 4-staffed himself to the angle that he got the burrow strike on 2 people. I do believe it was the center as well as the Mirana, just catching 2 cores like that. I mean, just absolutely outstanding plays all game long from the Sand King, and not only him, just the entire team is meshing so well together. I mean, the shot calling just must be on point for them, or I don't know, man.
Yep. I don't know, at this point, Sand King could also go for a BKB. There's very little that he can't buy. Yeah, for now, we're just going to be waiting, presumably for the next Roshan before Cyclone make a huge aggressive move into the high ground. There is still the hope of a 5-man Echo Slam, and pushing high ground into the Earthshaker is not something that you usually want to do. For now, they are going to group up, and, well, Roshan, we'll have to see when the timer is actually going to happen in about 7 seconds or so.
Yeah, if it's really short, it's definitely gonna favor Cyclones. If it's a long one, Chili Willy will just get some extra breathing space, potentially. But even that's not really a guarantee at the moment. It's gonna be 2.5 minutes, so a rather long one. But Skyriff Mage, he has himself the point booster. Bloodstone or Aghanims?
Bloodstone. I don't think there's really a way that you can go Aghanims before you have that item. I mean, you can drop 2 ultimates for sure at level 2, but once he gets level 16, he's not even going to be able to utilize that Aghanims very effectively. I think it's going to be a Bloodstone just for the sustained magic damage throughout the team fights, as well as not being forced back to base. Scarlet Mage, he drops it through his mana pool so quickly, and I think the Bloodstone is just a really good item on him. Especially when you're ahead, I don't think it's really going to be a game-changing pickup from the Scarlet Mage. But yeah, eventually I'd love to see an Aghanim Scepter, and maybe he'll pick that up and just not level up his ultimate so you can get the double ultimate onto a Veil Ancient Steel target. Could be fun to see.
Yeah, I think Bloodstone as well probably the better choice at the moment. For mostly the reason that you pointed out, that if he gets that level 3 ultimate, he's just not going to even have the mana pool to sustain like double ultimate almost even. Especially since you do want to use all of your spells. But at the moment, I mean, Chili Willy, a lot of it comes down to just the Centaur not having anything at all. Yes, he can get the blink in and stun, but he's just going to die straight after. He literally has just a blink dagger, casual cloak, and tranquil boots. I mean, even the Earthshaker has more farm.
Yeah, usually you think of Centaur as a tanky frontline, but this game, not so much. With only level 12, he's sitting at 1400 HP. It just really doesn't cut it. Now they're going to gank onto this illusion. They're smoked up and it didn't pop. They should have known that that was going to happen. And, well, in the end, gank going to be averted. But I don't know who's jumping on who. The puck jumps in. He doesn't get the Dream Coil off. It's going to land on 2 heroes, but one of them's BKB'd. He's going to jaunt towards the left. But the Weaver's coming through, and Ralphie just gets obliterated by the Weaver. He's going to be hip stomped up. The Blink is broken. Now the Chain Stun. It's going to be there on Vitalik with the Echo Slam committed. They're going to kill the Weaver, but will it be enough? I don't think so. The Rana is going to be chased on the back lines of this team fight, and now the Viper is or the Razor, excuse me, as the Centaur are going to try to get out there to no avail. 5-man wipe and GG. They got the Weaver, but at the cost of their whole team.
Yeah, to me it feels like in this game there have been so many like 3, 4, or 5 for 1 trades, and all of them favoring Cyclones. So just, I mean, they were so far ahead anyway, so I didn't think there was too much of a comeback choice or chance anyway for Chili Willy here.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think so either. They needed to kind of get off to an early start with their Mirana, because as a hero, unless she's a couple items ahead of an enemy carry like a Weaver, she's not going to be able to carry the game. And yeah, with that early start, they were able to do some good work, but in the end, the Sand King just came in so huge. The Viper had a wonderful game on top of that. The laning stage, although it didn't favor the puck, eventually with all of the towers going down, he was able to get his Blink Dagger up at a decent time, and before the Centaur as well.
He just really well played overall. But guys, this is going to conclude it for us for the time being. The next game should be at 22 CEST, as in about 2.5 hours away. Gonna be Mafia's Rhyme versus, I think it's Root Gaming or Thundercats. I'm not even too sure at the moment, but a jDL America game nonetheless. So if you want, you can tune in later on as well. But so far, thank you so much for just supporting us as well as to join the league by watching us. And if you enjoyed, be sure to follow us on this channel as well as HeflaTV1 and HeflaMoke, the English channels for us. And our social media, HeflaTV for everything. The links are below the stream. YouTube is gonna be /HeflaMoke for the VODs, and of course, just be sure to follow my co-caster GrandisV at GrandisV on Twitter, GrandisV on Twitch as well, if I'm not mistaken. So be sure to check him out.
Yeah, so good game to both teams. Thanks for watching and hope to see you soon.